Welcome back to the Freemausam Sea, and this is the 1,000 kilometer vagrant motorcycle trip to Monaco. I haven't been doing a big trip in quite some time, and I just got this Shotgun 650, and the usual procedure is to just film a bunch of videos for like tests on it and so on. And I want to do that, but I thought, let's just, instead of driving home when picking it up, let's drive into the other direction. And money is tight, so I got myself a Bundeswehr Schlafsack. In specific, it's called the Gefechtsschlafsack. Someone on Instagram told me, and I got that for $70. And we will just spend money on fuel, some self-cooked food. I have a cooker with me, and try to see if this is possible. I'll show you my gear that I will have for wild camping in a moment. But first, let's make our way to Karlsruhe, because I'm meeting up with a friend, Luke, from the Adventurist YouTube channel to go for ice cream. And then we will explore the Schwarzwald today and hopefully make it all the way to the border, and then I will show you my gear. So instead of ice cream with Luke, it became Flammkuchen Elsässer Art, which is like a nice German dish. Really enjoying it on the side of the Rhine River. Really nice, but the weather kind of still raining. Wasn't just raining on the road, and yeah, getting to the wild camping later will be, I don't know, will be wild.
That's why it's called wild camping, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Luckily the weather cleared up again and we were off the highway, off to the curvy roads. So we have done our first 200 kilometers and we made it to the Schwarzwald, and I gotta be honest, it's incredibly gorgeous here, as you can see. And we now have also properly broken in the tires, so we get to see how this bike handles, which is nice. And I'm just enjoying the views. I'm enjoying the views so much. The rain cleared up and like it's all good, but it says it's supposed to be raining later tonight, and to be honest, it's not warm. So yeah, still not that hyped about the wild camping in a few hours, but I think we will get it done. I think a good spot to go wild camping would be close to Basel. Then we could tomorrow just get the Alps done, and it should still be relatively warm in that region. And yeah, foot pegs were scraping, and I think that's a good plan. And yeah. After another 250 kilometers, we finally made it to the border triangle of Germany, Switzerland and France. But we still had to find a place to stay. So we're now in France. Right over there is Germany, and that's the River Rhine. And we're here now in the Ile de Rhine. I drove earlier here along like a little dam for a little power plant that is here, and we're looking for a place to wild camp. Already drove past a few caravans earlier. Maybe that's an option. And yeah, yes, this looks really, really good. Yeah, I think we found our place. We found our place most definitely. Okay, so apparently you can take out this part of the... I don't know if we should do it. I mean, beautiful most definitely this place is. Let's see if we actually will stay here tonight. Over there is still in the background one camper van, and I think I'm going to go there and ask if they stayed here before. And if they did, and if they stay here as well, then we do this. Je cherche pour un place de camping ici. Est-ce que c'est bon pour une nuit avec la moto?
Les flics, non plus.
Okay. Bonne soirée. I still went into town to save all my data, charge my devices, and use a bathroom to brush my teeth and everything. Over here we have my setup. We here have a little air mattress. We have this cover to protect us from the rain. I hope this works. This is from eBay. This is from one of my last trips. The $10 little like camping thing from IKEA. I think like the majority of German households have this. Yeah, and here the infamous Bundeswehr Gefechtsschlafsack. $7 on eBay. Let's roll it out. From the 1980s. The people from the caravan started a fire and invited me over. We talked deep into the night. They told me that they were going tomorrow into Switzerland to look for a one-day job on a construction site. The money in Switzerland was that much better that they camp outside of the Swiss border. The next day we crossed into Switzerland with the goal of going through the Alps, and I was surprised by the heavy amount of traffic in Basel. So I just blew a sizable size of this motorcycle trip's budget on the vignette for Switzerland. Only problem is I don't know where to put it on the motorbike, as this is not my bike and I don't want to put a nasty sticker on it. Yeah, but I think the bag will do. So after getting off the highway, we now made it to the beautiful part of Switzerland, and man is it beautiful here, just have a look. And I'm so looking forward to riding through the Alps. I wanted to be cooking by now with my little stove that I brought with me, but I think today is just a gas station food day, because with that I managed to get through the Alps over the curvy roads, which is the roads that I want to be taking, and don't end up at the next night wild camping still somewhere pretty high up, because I want to sleep the next night definitely in Italy, because last night was cold. But for now, let's just enjoy these beautiful, beautiful turns here. Oh, just look into this canyon. Isn't this incredible? Wow. Yeah, and our goal that we want to reach until 3 p.m. is the Route des Grands Alpes. And I'm really curious about seeing that. I'm curious if there's still snow. For context, we're here in end of April. Yeah, and this is just magnificent.
Everything was really expensive in Switzerland, including food, so I just went for some nuts at the supermarket. When continuing riding all the curvy roads, I sadly had a bit of an unpleasant surprise. It was starting to rain.
I don't know if it's because I'm tired or something, but I managed to miss the Route des Grands Alpes. Well, not really miss, we drove over it, I just didn't realize it, and my navigation system was somehow leading me to a highway that it said is the Tour des Grands Alpes, but it's not, and now we're back to the highway. But at least behind me is the Mont Blanc, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, let's, I don't think it makes any sense to drive back, also because it's getting dark soon. So let's try to continue our way to Monaco, because I want to not be sleeping anywhere where it gets properly cold at night, because the last night was really tough. So let's get going.
Nevertheless, we got to see the incredibly beautiful Mont Blanc from the highway before getting through border control and then passing through the Gotthard Road tunnel all the way into Italy. It's one of the longest tunnels in Europe and is over 11 kilometers long. I wanted to try to get as close as possible to Turin. The problem was we're not going to make that. However, we were in an area that was warm enough to go camping, but you see the mountains on the side, they will block out the sun in the morning, so the morning will be really, really tough. So let's get some food and find a place to stay. And did I find an amazing and cheap Italian pizza place? What a good time.
So it's now already dark. I've been looking for a place to stay now for quite some time, but everything that's beside the road quickly gets so dark that it's like really tough to navigate. Before it went dark, I saw like a little dry river creek where I was like, yeah, that could be an easy solution, but like now I don't even see the river creek, so there's no point in trying to explore that. So let's just try to find some shadow on like some grass that is really tough to see and put our sleeping bag there. Yeah, now doing this the second day in a row, it's kind of wild to imagine that like my first big trips that I did in my life, I did completely like this, like for months. Yeah, definitely wouldn't be doing this again for such a long time. Then we pull over in the next city and pull out our navigation system. Sadly, there are also no good park for night spots. Usually there's an app called Park for Night that gives you good wild camping spots, but there are none here in the area. So I now put a little park into the navigation system. Let's try to not miss it and avoid a situation like this for the rest of this trip, because this sucks. And like my camera is most likely also going to shut off in a second because it's empty. So we finally now found a place that looks comfy. You see over here the motorbike, there's some wine. I think that's wine over there. And we will put our sleeping bag over here. And if I now turn off the light, you see when the light is off, no one can see that we're here. It's still quite comfy and we have the road super close. At the same time, I'm a bit worried about being caught here. So yeah, I will work with quite a minimal setup and try to get my 8 hours in. Let's just roll out the sleeping bag. I mean, that thing should be waterproof. Actually, I have to say the stars from here are quite nice. The only thing that we now need to figure out is how to charge the devices and how to figure this stuff out, because we can only charge one device while driving, and basically all cameras except the big one are empty. Yeah, that could be a problem, but we see what we do about that tomorrow. So I gotta admit, this sleeping bag is the coolest thing ever, because I didn't want to get out of my sleeping bag today in the morning because the sun is not up yet, because it's still behind that mountain. And I managed to just take my legs out, put on my shoes and wait until the sun is properly up, or until I feel warm enough, which is pretty cool. And the night was alright. There's like literally not much like water on the grass and like everything. I now looked into the navigation of how far we still have it to Monaco, and it says that we still have 4 hours on the highway or 7 hours on the cross-country road. That's not how this was planned.
Originally, I thought we would be needing around 1,000 kilometers, but now we are at 1,050, and we will most likely will still put at least 400 kilometers on the bike until we're in Monaco. The curb appeal of the Royal Enfield Shotgun 650 is really impressive. I had like 3 different dudes approach me about the bike and ask me a bunch of questions. Royal Enfield, keep note, I maybe sold you a bike on this supermarket parking lot. Sadly, that doesn't change anything about the fact that we still need to manage to get the cameras charged. So the reason we are in this mess, first of all, is this thing died on me after working for many years like really good on the first day of the trip. But luckily we can charge the camera right here, also in the backpack, with this a bit unpractical USB port, but better having a USB port than not having one, I guess. So yeah, let's get going. So I didn't want to make any unnecessary stops. However, I saw this gorgeous motorbike right here, Boss Haas, with a V8 engine. I think it's from Chevrolet, the V8. It's one of my absolute dream bikes because I always feel like motorcycles are too small for me, and I would love
to get the chance to ride one of these one day, and it's so crazy to just see one in the wild, and also here in Italy. I would love to actually go touring with one of those some time, and it's crazy that I also, while being on a cruiser myself, got to see this gorgeous motorbike.
The big 6.2 liter V8 in the Boss House comes from a Chevrolet Corvette and produces around 300 horsepower. And the cooling, even in standing traffic where everything exposed, must be crazy. Even though I was really excited about the Boss House, it was time to get on the last stage of this trip through Italy, the last bit to Monaco.
A shame, think something new under sun. You can't take back them things you already done. No. You
Thing is, the landscape here in Italy is incredibly beautiful, but also the roads are just for motorcycle riding an absolute dream. Like, wow, this is just beyond fun. Like, everything you want out of a motorcycle can be practiced here in Italy. Just wow. So I kind of get heartburn from Italian food, so we have to find another solution. Also, eating out all the time is not good. So let's make some food.
You waste all of your time covering up your tracks. Spend all your days running away. Now you gotta watch your back, and that's the facts. You spend so much of your life scheming and trying to get over. Gotcha.
Honestly, the bean soup turned out to be pretty alright, and now we're navigating the last few curvy roads until we reach Monaco and the Côte d'Azur.
So we now basically made it all the way to Monaco, because you see over there is the sea, and Monaco is actually a really small place. I was not aware of that, because I wanted to go to Monaco because I saw Monaco in like a little cell phone game when I was a kid. On my first flip phone there was like a game called Asphalt, which you would control with the buttons on the pad, and it looked fancy. And that's why I definitely wanted to see it. And we now, with this beautiful sunset, get to arrive on the coastline where Monaco is. We now still have about 20 minutes. I now set into my navigation system the Casino of Monte Carlo, which is not exactly Monaco, because like I said, Monaco is like 3,000 times 2,000 meters or something. That's like, it's really small. However, I definitely plan on driving on all the bits of the F1 track that are publicly available with the motorbike. Let's hope that in a second we get a better look at the sea again. Oh, wait a second, I'll just pull over. I'll just pull over and show you. Here we go. This is the gorgeous Mediterranean Sea. Yeah, we did it. Let's get to the Casino of Monte Carlo.
And we finally made it. The skyscrapers you see over there are Monaco. And we did drive past the Casino of Monte Carlo, but we were not able to stop, and then made our way straight onto the F1 track, and we had the perfect time for this, with there being very little traffic and me having a really good time.
So I've just been to the casino. First, I wanted to gamble with 10 bucks. I did not do that. I think we were here at the right time. We checked out the F1 track, which I think was the best time to do it, and we actually managed to scrape foot pegs on the Monaco F1 racetrack. However, I'm not that amazed by the rest of the city, I have to say. It's cool, yes, it's nice to see, and I think everyone should have been to like see it once for themselves, but like, damn, all this like wealth and focus on money is fucking perverted. Like, it cannot be described how strong that is when you're here. And also, like, you see so many people with just the fanciest like watches where it gets into the ridiculous level, and I was just in front of the Monaco casino, and I was just like filming stuff, like filming a car, and I overheard this like conversation of like some dude going to some woman and being like, yo, if I would just be 60 years younger. And I was like, what the fuck? And this woman was like, I think the most plastic surgery I've ever seen on a person, and she was not older than me. Which was like, what is going on here? Like, I don't really feel like I could spend a day in the city, like, damn. But yeah, it was nice to see, and also nice to see the racetrack of Monaco. That was for me the highlight. And yeah, we're here at the coast, and it really shows really often the way is the goal. And yeah, definitely like and subscribe, and see you guys in the next video.